once again to my YouTube channel. We're continuing with electoral politics and democracy in Ghana, and as I said, because of your request, we want to focus on some filling questions for you guys and some of the materials you are using to study. The pre-independent election. So we just done one that is before the 51 elections. So as I said, I will give a summary before we go into some of these questions. So the pre-independent elections in Ghana. So before independence in 1957, Ghana, then the Gold Coast, held three major general elections. The 1951, which we've just spoken about, the first ever general election under the 1950 Constitution. Main party was the UGCC, self-government, step by step, versus CPP, sorry, which is self-government now. So the outcome, CPP won massively with 34 out of the 38 contested seats. Nkrumah, though in prison, won the Accra seat. What was quite significant of the election is that it brought CPP into power, where Nkrumah became the leader of the government business. And then in 1954, parliamentary election held under the 1954 constitution, which granted internal self-government. Contestants, which was the CPP, Ghana Congress Party, which is the UGCC successors, the Northern People's Party, Togoland Congress, TC, Anglo Youth Organization, Muslim Association Party, plus many independent candidates. Outcome was that CPP won 51 of the 104 seats, MPP won 12, other shared the smaller numbers. So the significance of this particular election was that CPP became dominant nationwide. So the election is called the independent election because of the main independent candidate. So in 1956 is that the Togoland Plebiscite or parliamentary election. So the plebiscite in British Togoland, which is May 1956, 58% voted to join Ghana, 42 against. Parliamentary election in June 1956 was also a referendum. CPP unitary state versus LMM plus allies federal state. And so the outcome was CPP won 71 of the 104 seats. Opposition ally won 32. So that's kind of it actually confirms support for CPP and the unitary state, paving way forward independence on 6 March 1957. Yeah. Then the election showed that the rise of the CPP as a dominant nationalist party. The party's slogan mattered, which was self-government now, was more popular than what the other slogans, and then the regional or ethnic parties, which the MPP, the NLM, the TC, played important role, but could not match CPP nationwide. And then the 1956 election also, and then plebiscite confirmed the path to independence under a unitary state. We won't go into some of these questions that we want to look at. So, question number 1 indicates the three ways in which the African members of the Legislative Council in 1951. So the three ways African members entered, or the entrance to the Legislative Council, they entered the Legislative Council. So we're indicating three ways African members entered the Legislative Council in 1951 was that there was direct election, which is municipal members, indirect election by voter college rural members, and then indirect election via territorial council, which is territorial members. Question number 2: how did the two main parties perform the 1951 election? The Convention People Party won 34 out of 38 municipal and rural seats, while the United Gold Coast Convention won only 2 seats in Akim Breku. And then also, question number 3 indicates any one commonality about the independent win in 1951 one. So a notable commonality is that the independents each helped backed each helped backing from the traditional council where so one notable commonality is that the independence was backed by the traditional council. Yeah, it was by the traditional council. And then question number 4: explain how party slogan influenced the outcome of the 1951 election. So the CPP slogan "Self-government now" was more compelling to voters than the UGCC "Self-government step by step" or "Self-government within the shortest possible time." So it made the CPP more popular ahead of its opponents. Question number 5: who were the prison graduates in the 1951 election? The prison graduates refer to CPP's leader who were jailed for political activism and then celebrated by the party upon their release as heroes who suffered from the cause of self-government. So identify any two factors for the victory of the Convention People's Party in 1951, which is the two major factors was that the popular and strong slogan they had, which is self-government now, which aligned with the masses' aspiration, and then Kwame Nkrumah's charisma as a leader and a strong party organization. The next one is question number 7. Explain how 1951 gave the United Gold Coast Convention a blow for which it never recovered. So the UGCC suffered a devastating defeat in 1951 election, winning only 2 seats, whilst the breakaway CPP won an overwhelming majority, leaving UGCC influence shattered and leading it to eventually replaced by the Ghana Congress Party. Indicate the most significant electoral reform introduced ahead of the 1954 election. So the most significant electoral reforms introduced ahead of 1954 election was the creation of 104 single member constituency for direct election following the Van Leers Commission's countrywide demarcation. Then question number 9. Name in full any 3 political parties that challenged the CPP in the 1954 election. The Ghana Congress Party (GCP), the Northern People's Party (NPP), the Togoland Congress (TC). What internal problems confronted the CPP ahead of the 1951 election? So the CPP faced the challenge of several leaders, including Nkrumah, being imprisoned ahead of the election. Yeah, and then question number 11. Question number 11. Why was the 1954 election described as the independent election? The 1954 was described as an independent election because as many independent candidates contested as the official party candidate. So let me take this again. The 1954 election was described as the independent election because as many independent candidates contested as did official party candidate, resulting for what party what infighting, especially within the CPP, and then uh, and then strategies what independent run. So we realized that we had a lot of people within the CPP also going independent, and then they had some infighting in the CPP. Who were the pro-party independents in the 1954 election? The pro-party independents were candidates who were affiliated with specific party but ran as independents, often because their party did not officially file candidates in their constituencies. Question number 13. Who were the CPP rebels in 1954 election and how did they perform? So the CPP rebels were party members were party members or let's say disgruntled party members. They were disgruntled party members where like after after the fact that they were not selected as official CPP candidates, they contested the 1954 candidate as independents. So 8 of these rebels managed to win parliamentary seats. Yeah. What was special about the performance of the Northern People's Party in 19? So the NPP, which is the Northern People's Party, became the second largest party in the Legislative Council, winning all 12 seats it contested in the Northern Territory, despite being formed only 2 months before the election. How many independents were elected in 1954? So 16 independents were elected to parliament in 1954 election. Which three party won a single party each? A single party each in 1954. So which party won a single seat each in 1950 election, which is the Ghana Congress Party, Muslim Association Party, and Anglo Youth Organization. So which two party did not win any seat in the 1954 election? Ghana National Party did not win any seat, and Ghana Action Party did not win any seat. Identify any two new factors that accounted for the victory of the CPP. So their impressive record of socio-economic development during their first term, the advantage of incumbency, including access to state resources like personal and then vehicles for campaign activities. So question number 19. Why did the Ghana Congress Party perform so poorly in 1954 election? The GCP performed poorly because it was disunited and then lacked a national presence. Then what again? What was the purpose of the May 1956 Togoland Plebiscite, and what was the outcome? So the purpose of the Togoland Plebiscite was to determine whether British Togoland would join independent Ghana to seek union with French Togoland, or seek union with French Togoland. So the outcome was 54% voted to join Ghana. So question number 21. Indicate any two ways in which the 1954 election contributed to the formation of the National Liberation Movement. So the Ashanti's grievances over only gaining 2 additional seats, not the 30 requested, motivated local leaders. Frustration over CPP's local government reforms, which limited the power of chiefs. 4. Demand for a regional party, leading to the NLM, the National Liberation Movement. 22. Why was the July 1956 election also described as a referendum? It was described as a referendum because electing parliamentarians that contest also determine Ghana's future political system, whether it will be a unitary or federal one. So it was quite important. And then 23. Why did the NLM perform poorly outside Ashanti in 1956 election? They performed poorly outside Ashanti because it was seen as a Kumasi-based party fighting for Ashanti interests, which did not appeal to voters in other regions who were wary of Ashanti dominance. Then, question number 24. Give any two reasons for the defeat of the opposition alliance in the 1956 election. So, the CPP, that's question number, give two reasons. So, the CPP was the only party to field candidates in all 104 constituencies, outmatching the opposition. The opposition alliance party were regionally or ethnically limited, lacking nationwide appeal. Then 25. What was the significance of the 6th March 1957 as Independence Day for Ghana? So 6th March 1957 was chosen as Ghana's Independence Day because it was the 130th anniversary of the Bond of 1844, which signified the start of British colonial rule. It symbolized the end of colonialism and the drawing of what independence. So thank you very much for watching. Kindly subscribe, and leave your comments. And then you can also be going through your reading material, the literature, to also look at some answers to help you acquaint yourself more with all these questions. Thank you very much.